Hey guys, how often do you think the FAA has to do investigations for near air collisions? Well, I'm fixing to show you it's a lot more than they let on. My point in making this video is to show you that it is very common recently for planes to almost collide. Why is it happening and who is actually to blame? Hello everybody, welcome back to Starkey Forum Said. So my name is Samantha. I've been doing a little research. Out of curiosity, I wanted to know how often do planes have near misses in the sky or during takeoff or during landing? How often is the FAA having to go in and look into situations where air traffic control almost allowed people to end up dead? So as I dug into this, I realized there are hundreds of open cases right now where the FAA is investigating air traffic control for not keeping passenger planes separated, either in the air, during takeoff, or during landing. As I'm fixing to show you something, every one of these planes has an alarm system in it. That alarm system warns them when they are on an imminent, it's basically like this, okay? So as they're going forward, the warning system starts going off for imminent crash, telling plane A, go left, plane B, go right. It doesn't just alarm, it tells the pilot exactly where to go to avoid the crash.
Normally, aircraft shouldn't get within a mile of each other. In this case, they were less than 1,000 feet.
Listen to the air traffic control audio. You can hear the anti-collision system on board, which alerted the pilots and likely saved hundreds of lives.
Left to 100, we do have runway 8 in sight, cleared.
The technology on board both aircraft, sensing that they were within 20 to 30 seconds of a mid-air collision, told one aircraft to climb and one aircraft to descend, thus preventing a tragedy.
And it does it for both planes involved. Why am I telling you this? Because I keep seeing people ask the same question I've been asking. Why did the helicopter pilot and the airplane pilot not get a warning saying, hey, imminent crash, imminent crash? I don't know, but watch these clips and then we're going to break it down.
Camera and is now under FAA investigation.
Aviation enthusiasts on the ground looked up and happened to see two planes very close together. When he listened to the air traffic control audio, he realized they were dangerously close. This morning, a near disaster captured on camera. Images showing two commercial jets coming dangerously close to each other while landing in Phoenix.
My first reactions were just shocked and surprised that two commercial airliners with hundreds of people on them were on a converging path.
At the top, a United flight from San Francisco carrying 123 passengers. Below, a Delta Airlines flight from Detroit with 245 passengers. Watch this flight radar animation showing the planes nearly colliding on Saturday morning. According to data from Flight Radar 24, the planes coming incredibly close to each other at one point within 875 feet vertically and about 1,200 feet horizontally. That Delta plane going at 275 miles an hour.
Normally, aircraft shouldn't get within a mile of each other. In this case, they were less than 1,000 feet.
Listen to the air traffic control audio. You can hear the anti-collision system on board, which alerted the pilots and likely saved hundreds of lives.
Left to 100, we do have runway 8 in sight, cleared.
Both airlines crediting that system this morning. Delta telling ABC News, Delta flight crews extensively trained to handle uncommon scenarios such as this and followed the resolution advisory as directed. And United saying the pilots acted immediately and landed safely.
The technology on board both aircraft, sensing that they were within 20 to 30 seconds of a mid-air collision, told one aircraft to climb and one aircraft to descend, thus preventing a tragedy.
And again, it's that technology that both Delta and United credit this morning with saving the day, along, of course, with the pilots who paid attention to the warnings. But you really struggle to think what would have happened if that alert system hadn't gone off.
A single-engine Cessna and an American Airlines passenger jet in an alarming close call. ABC's Jacqueline Lee joins us now with details. Jacqueline, good morning.
Wick, good morning. These planes came within just 400 feet of each other and seconds from disaster. This morning, the FAA is now investigating why a single-engine Cessna entered the flight path of an American Airlines flight that was about to land at Austin Bergstrom International Airport on Wednesday. The two planes on a collision course. The American Airlines crew receiving a cockpit alarm from the anti-collision system. That alert allowing the pilots to turn and avoid colliding with the single-engine plane. In a statement, American Airlines said, "We thank our crew members for their professionalism and expertise and for always prioritizing safety above all else." And according to a video shared by Flight Radar 24, the Cessna was not on the same radio channel as it was arriving to the airport.
And new at 6, the FAA is investigating a close call on the runway between two planes at LAX. In the video, you can hear the air traffic controller yelling for a charter flight to stop. Take a listen.
Stop.
This happened yesterday when the charter flight had just landed carrying the Gonzaga University's men's basketball team who played against UCLA tonight. The plane was taxiing to the gate when the pilot was instructed to hold at a certain point. The FAA said the plane passed that point, which caused air traffic control to yell stop. The FAA again is now investigating.
Those two planes, one landing and one taking off, and it caused quite a scare. Here's ABC's Reagan National.
This morning, the FAA is investigating another mid-air scare involving passenger planes. Audio captured the confusion in the cockpit.
Wait, who's cleared to take off on two-way?
Watch as a Delta plane was taking off from Syracuse, New York yesterday. At the same time, an American Eagle flight was about to land. From the video's angle, it appears the planes came dangerously close as a stunned police officer watches, seemingly convinced the planes were about to collide. According to flight data, the planes were separated by 700 to 1,000 feet vertically, but it's unclear how close they were horizontally. It comes after another midair scare involving a United Airlines plane.
Give you a heads up. The tower called, they think that you lost a tire on the takeoff.
A Boeing 757 lost a tire after taking off from Los Angeles. Passengers were told by the flight crew to brace before the plane landed safely in Denver. United has been under extensive supervision from the FAA after a number of maintenance issues this year. Back in March, a tire of another United flight fell off moments after takeoff from San Francisco, the wheel crashing down in a parking lot, damaging these cars. Rhiannon Alley,
So
ABC.
it makes you wonder, why are there so many near misses in the last 6 months alone? I didn't even go past that. It was shocking, the amount of information that just right up in front of my face, folks. This is why research is so important. It's hard to say that it's dangerous to fly if you can't back that up, but I'm starting to kind of wonder, how safe is America's skies? Because there once was a time that it was almost never heard of for flights to hit each other. Listen to this.
It's really tragic when this happens in an airplane. Again, it's been decades since there's been a mid-air collision in this country. This is such an unusual circumstance to take place. It's such a tragedy. It's been 12 years since there's been a fatality in a commercial airliner here in the United States. That's unprecedented. And that wasn't a mid-air collision. That was just an accident. This is a mid-air collision, and this hasn't happened in forever.
So I can tell you what I have found out. I have recently found out that there should have been 2 air traffic controllers in that tower the night of the plane crash with the helicopter. There was only 1. I can also tell you that we have reduced the standards of our FAA air traffic controllers tremendously. You used to have to be 35 years old. You can now be 30. You used to have to pass psychological evaluations as well as pass a test, as well as an IQ test. Those things are no longer required. Just have to pass the test. Used to, you had to have 52 consecutive weeks of experience and or be a pilot. That too has also been scrapped. Why? Because there was a push for including more diverse backgrounds. And the problem with that is this is one of the most dangerous, most high pressure jobs. They're responsible for hundreds of thousands of souls in the air every single shift.
Trump says there are no survivors of the tragic mid-air crash last night between an Army helicopter and an American Airlines commuter jet. 67 people are believed to have died in that crash. The NTSB held a press conference this afternoon calling it an accident. A report by the Federal Aviation Administration says staffing in the air traffic control tower was, quote, not normal at time of the collision. CBS News confirmed only one air traffic control worker was managing the helicopters and planes, a job that's normally done by two people. Erica Brown has the latest on the investigation from Reagan National Airport in Arlington, Virginia.
Recovery efforts on the Potomac River continued Thursday afternoon in one of the deadliest U.S. aviation accidents in recent history. CCTV captured the moment when an Army Black Hawk helicopter collided with an American Airlines regional jet as it prepared to land at Reagan National Airport last night.
At this point, we don't believe there are any survivors from this accident.
The National Transportation Safety Board is leading the investigation into how the collision occurred.
We have not recovered the flight data recorders yet. We know they're there. They are underwater.
President Trump appeared in the briefing room requesting a moment of silence for the victims.
We are one family, and today we are all heartbroken. We're all searching for answers.
He then quickly pointed a finger at the previous administration's hiring practices.
The FAA is actively recruiting workers who suffer severe intellectual disabilities, psychiatric problems, and other mental and physical conditions under a diversity and inclusion hiring initiative.
And of course, Chuck Schumer and all the Democrats basically said he was wrong, but he is not. Folks, do you fly? Because I fly a lot. My entire family does. It's how we get together because my kids are spread out across different continents and different states. My thing is this. I should be safe when I fly. Just like I should be safe when I call for an emergency service person to come and help me. This is paid for by your tax dollars. And once FAA paid air traffic controllers top dollar, these people had one of the most highest paying jobs in the United States. Not so anymore. When they reduced standards, they also reduced what they paid them. So I know a lot of people think it's great. Let's open up all these different industries to diversity. But the problem with that is you're reducing well-paid wages. Because who's going to pay somebody with no experience? That's what's wrong with America. If you want something, work for it. Build your career. You don't just walk into an $80, $90, or $150,000 job a year, folks. Just doesn't happen. So I hope that you enjoyed all this information I put together for you. I was just trying to show you that this is not a one and done. This accident was coming. I also showed you last night that Kansas Attorney General filed suit against the FAA 11 months ago. The Kansas AG. Where did this flight come? It came from Kansas. And he said, this is going to happen because you're not putting in qualified people. You're putting in diversity. And when you do that, you reduce safety standards. So at this point, if you or a loved one has been injured by somebody that wasn't qualified for the job, then I advise you to find an attorney and sue their pants off. That's how we stop this. That is how we take power back. We take their money. If your family member was injured by somebody driving that's an illegal alien and you can't find them to get what is owed to you, sue your state representatives. Eventually, somebody's going to win the suit and it's going to set a precedent, folks. God bless y'all. Stay safe out there. This country is absolutely falling apart. And don't forget, like, comment, subscribe, and share this video.